Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. If you can hear us, clap once. If you can hear us, clap twice. All right, very good. No, 3 times. That's great. We don't need it. All right, nice job. How's everybody doing? Yeah. Turn to the person beside you, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being your week is awesome, 1, I don't want to do this again, give the person beside you a number. Come on. Yeah, I don't want to do this exercise right now. We'll just put on a face and... That's right. All right. Do we have any? I'm just curious. Are there any 9s? Were there any 9s? 9s or 10s? Any 9s or 10s? All right, good. Any 8s? All right. Are we mostly 7s, 6s? 5s? Okay. 4s? I won't go any lower than 4. We're going to try to pick it up. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. If you've got a cell phone, would you mind silencing that? I don't know that I've done that yet. Better silence that. So let's silence your phones. That would be great because at True North, our motto is screens down. Oh, good. Very good. We're all saying it together. Hey, if you've got a drink, make sure you're holding on to it and don't put it on the floor. We don't want any spills, so just make sure and help us out with that. During the 4-minute party, you can do that. We know we just sat down, but we are going to take a moment to greet one another. We have a lot of people in the room that may be guests. I've already met 5 guests I counted already tonight. 5. Some of you apparently are meeting guests right now. That's great. We're about to have what we call a 4-minute party. During the 4-minute party, Courtney, tell us one thing that these students need to know.
If you are a guest, you need to come up and meet one of our teen greeters, and they will have a clipboard with a little sheet for you to sign up some stuff so we can get to know you better. And then also, you will get a Baskin-Robbins gift card.
And we'll all be standing up and milling around. We're not going to call you up in front of everybody, but our teen greeters, the teens, come on up. If you're going to be one of our greeters up here, come on up. And then in just a second, we will let you, we'll all stand up together. Parker, we have one rule, one expectation. What is that rule?
Yes, only one. So you cannot talk to anybody that you do know until you talk to somebody that you don't know.
Wait, say it one more time because I think people are talking to people that they do know.
No way. You cannot talk to anybody that you do know until you talk to somebody that you don't know.
Go with somebody that you do know to find somebody that you don't know. It's not that difficult. See if you can find somebody during the next 4 minutes. Let's all stand up together and let's have a 4-minute party. Let's go.
Wow.
Okay, tell me your name.
Wow. I mean, like, how awkward is this? How crazy is this that we're both just kind of here? What are you doing here? I told you no. I told you never to talk to me again. Whoa! Why do you not remember that?
I'll take over. It's okay if you need to say something.
I had my
So, you look really great today. You look almost as good as the scrumptious lemonade, if not better. Yeah, you look a lot better.
Hey everybody, we're glad to have you at True North tonight. Hello Mom and Dad and Paul and anybody else who may be watching from other states. Garrison, Brody, maybe you guys are watching as well with your family. We're glad to have you here at True North. Some other folks want to say hello. It's going to be a big night. Tomorrow night is going to be a really big night. Unfortunately, we can't live stream tomorrow night's event in the filling station, but tomorrow night's event at 7 will be recorded and will be made available for our online members. You won't be able to live stream it unless you're one of the online members with a website and a link and a password. But I believe it is on April the 29th. It becomes available for 10 days for anybody. It'll be on the website. So that's all very confusing. You really need to know all that. But have a great night, everybody. Welcome to True North. I'll let these folks say hi to you.
Hey, happy Wednesday. We're glad you're here. Stay blessed. We love you. Okay, go. Go, go.
Okay, let's go.
Go.
Hi, Mom.
All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday, dear Santa baby. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha. Ooh la la. And roll tide.
And roll tide.
Welcome once again. Hopefully you were made to feel welcome. If you are a guest, we hope that you had a chance to meet somebody. We hope you got a gift card. If not, you can get one afterwards. But come on in and have a seat. Good crowd tonight. Good crowd tonight. I'm guessing Bill's here. He's going to give us a count here later on. Thank you, Bill. All right, guys, let's move on to celebrate those of you who are getting older. It's time for our birthdays in the borough. Give us our dates for tonight, somebody.
Today's birthday celebrations are for April 14th to the 20th. So if your birthday is within that time, please come on
birthday.
up. We got one.
Birthday. One birthday? We got one?
Nobody
one birthday.
else?
All right, we got a birthday. She's going to get her Abraham Lincoln sticker that says "You're Still Cool," which reminds me that the way we sing Happy Birthday in the NBYG is with 3 simple words, and those words are "You're Still Cool." And it goes like this.
Well, you're 1 year older than you used to be, and you're
still cool. Here we go. You still got it. It's plain to see. Come on. You're still cool. Get your birthday today. That's why we're here to say that you're still cool. Everybody say happy birthday. Great job. Great job. It's always fun when one person comes up here. I'm sure they feel like, oh, wow.
She did great.
She did great. Adley did great. Adley's a rock star.
Yeah, super brave.
All right. Speaking of birthdays, everybody, it's time for a birthday party blast from the past. I like it. I like the energy up here. What's your favorite of the bumper songs? Of the bumpers? We need a whole bumper jams. We need to do a whole bumper jams like with all the different bumper songs. But what's your favorite one? Of all of our bumpers? No, Nope is not a bumper. All right, I don't know. You guys have a favorite of the bumper music? Yeah. Do you all have a favorite of the bumper jams?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Okay, here we go, everybody. Here's your birthday party. Look carefully. Look carefully. Tell us who we think this is. Do we know who that is?
Well, the dog is kind of scary.
Anybody know who that is?
Or...
That mouse looks like it got punched in the face. What? It is not my. Well, it is not my brother. It is, in a sense, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, a big. It's not his birthday, but this is from a birthday party blast from the past. It's DJ Mike, everybody. DJ Mike.
Mike.
I am trying to imagine DJ Mike wearing that outfit tonight.
That'd be nice.
Maybe next week.
Let's stop imagining that and let's move on. All right. Hey, guys, Senior Sunday is getting ever closer. Senior Sunday. Juniors, raise your hands. All juniors, raise your hands. We'll be sending out an email and a text to our juniors for you to sign up to help out at the banquet. Remember, you're going to be honored next year. So these seniors honored the seniors last year when they were juniors. We would love for you to help. And if you're watching online at home and you're here in town, we'll be letting all the juniors know how you can help on Senior Sunday. That's coming up. Okay, yes, we got it. All right, everybody, we continue to be very excited about this. All right, now. Oh, we got to pause for a second. Yeah, you guys enjoy that. Okay. Hey, Kids Camp, sign up. Juniors and seniors, your window has come and gone. You can still sign up, but your exclusive window. 9th and 10th graders, your exclusive window ends tonight. And starting tonight, we sent the link out in the email last week. Starting tonight, 7th and 8th graders, you may sign up until spots are gone. And then when there is a waiting list, we will let you know if you are on the waiting list. So there you go. There's your chance. If you got it, everybody say got it. Got it. All right. Hey, Panera is not happening tomorrow, unfortunately, because we have another event happening. Courtney has a school event with a child, and we will not be having Panera tomorrow. Now, those of you girls that go to Panera, we can't stop you from going to Panera and eating at Panera. You can go, and you can eat. You just will not have a leader there to keep you in line, unless that's Lala Beth. Lala Beth, will you be the leader to keep everybody in line? No.
She passed.
Okay. Hey, for the last time, everybody, just want to make you aware that tomorrow night, Sean McDowell will be in this room I want you to listen very carefully because there's some things that I don't know that I've confused anybody, but I want to make sure you know. Tomorrow night at 6, Sean McDowell is in this room for a teen event. That event is not recorded. It will not be made available later. The only time you can hear that content will be in this room at 6 o'clock tomorrow as he talks about his book, Chasing Love. Love, sex, and relationships. As I've said before, I don't mean to sound crass or to mean to sound joking, but if you want any of those three things to be a part of your life, then it would be wise for you to be here to hear Sean's talk. It's going to be a powerful message at 6. About 7 o'clock or a little before, we'll leave this room and we'll all walk down to the auditorium together, and hopefully you can stay, or maybe you'll join us just for that event at 7. That one's open to the community. This is not just geared for teenagers. Even the one in here isn't. But at 7 o'clock, we're going to be in the big room where he talks about true for you, but not for me. How do you define truth in a post-truth world? You may think that does not sound exciting. It's going to be a powerful talk. You'll be blessed. And we want to get as many people here. Now listen carefully, because I want to say one last thing about this, okay? Make sure I've got all your ears. The person beside you isn't listening, just ignore them. It's polite in such cases to ignore them. To ignore somebody who's interrupting, I mean. The event starts at 6. We'd love our people to be here. We'd love for you all to be here no later than 5:45 or even earlier to receive our guest. If you're one of our greeters and you have signed up to be a greeter tomorrow, or you are willing to do that, and nobody's asked you, but you're willing to be an official greeter tomorrow, we'd love for you to be here between 5:15 and 5:30, no later than 5:30, but 5:15 because people will start to arrive. Now tonight, after True North, we'd love to have anybody that wants to help. It's certainly our seniors. We want to invite you to help us out for just a minute. We know that some of you want to get to places to hang out, but if you can help us, we're going to break down 8 of these tables, not the ones on the back row, but we're going to break down 8 tables and put those outside. Somebody's picking those up for another event, and then we're going to set out chairs. Now, we're going to set out 200 to 225 or 250 chairs. We have no idea if there's going to be 250 people in here or 450 or 150. But even in this room tonight, there's close to 200 of you, and we would love to just keep bringing out more chairs. We've got a plan to set chairs out. We just don't want there to be a big, bunch of empty chairs. So we'd love for you to bring somebody, and we'd love for you to come to both. We know we ask a lot of you. This is one of those events that maybe not as a favor to me, but just this is a pretty exciting thing that Sean's going to be here. So tomorrow night, okay? I think it's going
to be cool.
Yeah, I think we've said a lot about that, and good news is that'll be the last announcement. So the talk at 7 is live streamed for the online campus if you have a website and a password. If it's not, if you're not and you're not here, it will be online starting April the 29th for about 10 days. You'll have about 10 days to watch it, and then it goes away. But this is going to be one that you're going to want. It's going to be an awesome message tomorrow night. If you got it, say got it. There we go. Thanks so much for being so cooperative and being supportive of that. I've talked to a lot of students, and almost every time I say who's coming, they're like, I'll be here. This is a great event to bring somebody to. It's a great event to bring somebody to. So just say, hey, we have this cool thing happening tomorrow at my church, and come and join me. It's going to be great. You'll enjoy Sean. I'm just almost certain you'll enjoy Sean. Okay, let's move on. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. It's time to look at our picks of the week. Here's our picks of the week. All right, I love starting off with these. These are great. It's time to rate this sin.
Send it. That's pretty good too.
That's a good one. We're gonna rate this sin. Any disc golfers in the room? Any disc golfers? Any frisbee golfers? Who likes? Okay, yeah. Back in the day, Ben and I went like once a week. I'm serious. Who is like the biggest disc golfer in the room? You probably are literally the biggest disc golfer in the room. You do a lot of frisbee golf?
I used to.
Okay, all right. Well, here we go. Check this out. This is it's pretty good. It's a pretty good sand right here. That was pretty nice. Rolled all the way through the water. That was good.
That's pretty good.
All right, here we go. I forgot what this video even is, but it's well played. Oh, I know what it is. All right. We looked at some fun art. We looked at some fun art last week. Check this out. I love this. This is more my speed right here. This is well played. Children, you should not do this to your parents' frames at your house. Don't get any ideas. Yeah, that's lovely. I like that. I like that. Maybe you geeked out with me on that. Well played. Lovely. Courtney, that's lovely. All right, guys, here we go. This is just for Eli.
Nope.
That's pretty good.
You sound just as good as the actual one. That's great. Oh, man, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Oh, no.
Does this have to do with kids?
I always want, my filter, I don't know. Check it out.
Somebody nope.
I wasn't expecting.
Nope.
Oh.
What did he think was going to happen
I don't
when
know.
he jumped on a skateboard? What did he think was going to happen? All right. Hey, anybody here who loves storms? Who likes storms? Really? You like storms when you're home safe? Imagine you're driving down the road. Check this out. This video's dark. It's dark, but watch this. You're driving down the road. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Was that like Hawkins? Is that where that is? I don't know where that is. That was scary.
Yeah, that's...
I want to watch that one more time. Watch this. Let's watch it one more time here. Let's try to watch it one more time. No, we're not going to watch that one more time. Let's check this out. They're driving down the road. What would you do besides turn your car around? What would you do?
Nope.
I think somebody just went back to the future in that video. Okay, guys, here we go. Here is something that's incredible. Who's willing to try something in front of us right here, right now? Who's willing to try something? All right, not like seriously. Okay, come on up. And then Elizabeth. All right, come on up. Try here. We're gonna see. Just stand right over here and right over here. We're gonna see how many jumps you can do. How many jumps you can do in like 10 seconds.
How high do I have to jump?
I don't know. It doesn't have to be high dollars. How many jumps you have to do? Okay. How many jumps in 10 seconds? Okay. Ready? We'll start with him. Then we'll come to you. Okay. She was like, okay. I would try this, but it would be unsightly and it would probably be dangerous for the structure of this building. Ready? Okay. In 10 seconds. Ready? And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm not counting either. All right, that was mildly impressive.
I got 24.
All right, how many Elizabeth is ready. I love it. The most
Elizabeth.
adventurous person, I think, in our youth group is this girl right here. All right, you have 10 seconds. Ready? And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. How many was that? You may count?
Yeah,
All right,
38 maybe.
What about 30 seconds? We're not going to have you all do 30 seconds, but y'all can stay up here and watch the screen. This is Chin Jiaolin. Chin Jiaolin, 30 seconds with a jump rope, 30 seconds with a jump rope. Check out the Guinness World Record. Here it is. Regular speed. That is regular speed, by the way. 228 jumps in 30 seconds. That was like the gritty and ultra mode. 228 jumps. That's incredible. Good job, guys. Y'all can have a seat. Good job. I don't know. Pretty incredible. All right. Hey, it's time for a sharp-dressed man. Want to see a sharp? Wow. I don't know if I want to show these or not.
I don't.
Here's our sharp-dressed man.
I don't know where you got that from,
What?
but
How old are you there?
probably middle school maybe.
Okay.
7th grade.
I was like, who does he remind me of? Parker and I were looking at that going, who does that remind me of? We need to start doing this with these pictures. He reminds me of Eminem. Sorry, I got my slides messed up. I'll show you in a minute. This right here, however, that's me on Easter when I was 3 years old.
What a fit.
That's me.
What
Now,
an
he looks
outfit.
like Eminem. And I look like Orson Krennic from the... So check this out. That's the nerdiest thing I've done all day is make myself look like I work for the Empire. What was my mom thinking, dressing me up like that and taking me to church?
She wasn't.
Do you do that to Noah?
I don't, but his mother-in-law would, or my mother-in-law would.
Yeah, his
The
mother-in-law.
I say he's got a mother-in-law.
yeah.
How did I miss that?
There we go. That's your sharp. Wait, how'd that get in there? How'd that get in there? What's going on with that? What's happening there? I don't know. We're at
Just so
Lipscomb there.
stoic.
Yeah, that's like a pose. She is posing. She's ready to go. Okay. All right, everybody. The pictures that some of you, at least in the room, have been waiting for. Let's look back on last Saturday as the guys went and played paintball. Guys, here we go. Here's there's our online campus members. There's Garrison and Brody. You can barely see them, but that's them. There we are. It was pretty brutal out there, pretty brutal. It was a lot of father-son events. That was great. With some father-sons that were there. Here's a handful of the guys that are there. This is the course. Pretty awesome course. It looked like a zombie apocalypse. And then there was, oh man, our favorite. There he is. There's Craig's favorite guy. It's Paintball Daniel. Paintball Daniel. You just have to be there for that. There's a crashed plane in the middle of the course. That's crazy. And there they are. Man, you do not want to run into this character. You do not want to run into this character because when you do, you get whelps. There's a whelp on the neck. Alex got one. It's pretty rough. I think the winner, though, goes to Michael Bowen. Michael Bowen showed back up because he wanted to shoot people now that he's in the National Guard. And, man, yeah, it was rough. It was pretty rough. This is my favorite picture. That's the Charlie Strickland. That's the coolest you're ever going to look.
Why is that funny? He looks cool.
He
Why
looks cool.
the best making fun of him?
Doesn't your brother look menacing right there? No, you don't think so? Okay. There's everybody right there. And then we got a picture of Charlie. Where's Charlie Wolf? There's Charlie. Parker, you want to tell us, the first game, you had blue team and the red team, and the blue team went out quickly.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, so I'm shooting people with paintballs.
As you do.
As you do when you play paint. And then I start getting shot, and I'm like, who is shooting me? And I turn around, and it's Charlie. So.
Charlie eliminated his entire team.
Yes. Yeah. And I got shot by Charlie, who was on my team more than anybody else the entire day. So, it was not good.
Well, we had some advice. Some of you saw this on our nbyg Instagram, but we had Charlie give us a paintball tip. Hopefully this video works. Here's Charlie's paintball tip.
It's easier to shoot your own team.
That's it.
And he certainly did it.
That's how it works.
He certainly did it.
There's a valuable lesson in that, by the way. Yeah, it is. It's sometimes easier to shoot your own team. And you should not do that.
Yeah, you should not do that.
What are you going to say?
I just said, please don't shoot me.
Oh, well, speaking of that was a bad transition. I'm curious to know, ladies, serious question. I'm really serious. If we organized a paintball day for our girls, 7th through 12th grade, Now, it's like $50 to play 3 hours. You get 1,000 paintballs, is that right? You get 1,000 paintballs. I'm serious. How many of you, if we did it, how many of you would sign up to go? That may be more guys than signed up. I don't know that I believe it.
That's more than the guys.
Hey, but I will be there with a camera crew to record the carnage and the action. All right, ladies, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. We'll find a time. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. We paintballed back in the day.
Okay. All right.
Courtney was
good.
a big paintballer back in the day.
Big paintballer.
Very good. All right. Well, want to remind us of a couple of things as we get ready to move into another portion tonight. We are journeying through the New Testament. By now, you should know this. We're going through it in 2024, and our challenge is to read through the entire New Testament. We have bookmarks. There's some up here if you need them. There's some in the back if you want them. And this particular week, we are in the book of Acts. We're getting near the end of the book of Acts, Acts 18 through 22. As we always say, if you're not caught up, don't feel bad. Just pick up a bookmark and go at it. You can also go onto our website, I believe, at any time.
Yes.
nbyg.org. You can go there at any time, click on the East Campus, and you'll see the bookmark. You'll see this week's reading. It's all right there. If you don't have a bookmark, they've done a great job of updating that. So just pick up where you are. Because remember, if you're not in the Word of God daily, there's no way, what? Yeah, there's no way that you can be everything that God wants you to be. Now, having said that, I want to talk about this idea of being renewed. We're going to worship here in a second, but first we want to just kind of cover some family news with you. And I saw this picture. This picture won't impress many of you. It's part of a larger picture, and I'll show you the whole picture in a minute. This is a picture of springtime somewhere. I don't know. It almost looks like the Windows desktop wallpaper. But there's a picture of spring, and there's the same picture in the summer, and the same picture in the autumn, and the same picture in winter. It was a hashtag that was kind of going around just this week, and it was 4 seasons, same place. 4 seasons, same place. You guys get how it works? And there were just several of these that I thought were pretty cool. It was pretty cool art to go back to the same spot in 4 different seasons. And these are pretty haunting. All that picture is missing is Charlie Strickland walking up that path. It looked really cool. All these are spots, some of them famous, some of them national parks, some of them just outside in people's houses. But everybody was kind of entering this trend of the same season, same place, different seasons. I love this picture because somebody said, I want to capture the same spot and the same tree in 4 different phases. There's a verse that is one of my all-time favorites. It's probably a top 10 verse for me, and it's found in the book of Romans, chapter 15. And Paul is writing, and he says, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace. Fill you with all joy and peace. Most people say, I want joy and I want peace. Let me ask for a show of hands. How many of you say, right now, a little low on the joy department? I mean, you can be honest. I mean, we're friends. How many of you say, I'm a little low on the peace department? Right? May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace. But there's more to the verse. As you trust in Him. As you trust in Him. I know we're not into the teaching portion, but while we're all together up here, I want to demonstrate something really quickly. And I'm just going to ask if you all would take one of these letters and just come and stand up here, but just hold it to you and just come stand right there in order. If you'll just start down there, please. Just take these letters, and I just want you to not show us the letters yet. Not show us the letters yet. Thank you. Keep on moving down if you don't mind, Eli, so you guys can all be in one spot. I want to show you something that hit me. I realize they're out of the, they may be out of light. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully we can get them on camera. I want to show you something that I have really been thinking about recently. I want to show you this word, okay? Everybody turn. I think we should have it in order. Turn the word around. there's a lot of things in this season of my life that I have been learning. I think you all know how to spell. It's like a Wheel of Fortune. We've solved the puzzle, and it's learning. But I've learned that there are different seasons, and I'm looking at the idea of different seasons, same place. Same place, different seasons. And I want to just have Cooper for just a second. Would you just sit down back there, hold on to your letter, but just sit down. You guys move in for just a second. Now we just take out one letter. We take out one letter, and we have another word that is important. The word leaning. The word leaning. Now, I do want this, Eli, to be a serious illustration, so I'm going to put some trust in you here, but just come here for just a second. And just turn that way. If he's going to represent God, sometimes God is unseen. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know what's written on the sign. I can't figure it out. I don't know what he's trying to get me to learn. I don't understand what's happening. And so I find myself, doing some leaning. So you can lean back to me. I'm not going to move, and I'm going to trust that you're not going to move. And I find myself leaning. And if I really lean into him, I'm now completely vulnerable. Like if Eli were to move, while it would be comical, but it would be dangerous, and I would probably be hurt. But I'm leaning because you tell me why I might be leaning. What are some reasons that I might be leaning from a spiritual standpoint? Somebody tell me. Raise your hand. Give me some answers. There's all kinds of them. Yes, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I'm leaning because I need guidance. A good one. That's a good reason. There's Family Feud, lots of reasons. Yes. Yeah, I'm leaning because I trust him. Okay, good. That's good. What are some other reasons that I might be leaning, maybe versus learning? I'm just leaning. What are some other reasons? Yeah. I'm tired. Okay, very good. I'm not strong enough to stand on my own. Good. Somebody else. Yes. I want to know him better. Good. I love that. I want to know him better, so I want to be close to him. That's great. Good answer. For support, because I need some support. See, the answers could go on and on and on, but it's often some sort of dependence, some sort of, I can't do this, I can't stand up, and so I'm going to be leaning. So there's two different seasons. There's seasons of learning, and then there are seasons of leaning. And I'll be honest with you, right now I feel like I'm more in a season of leaning than a season of learning. And I think about all of these seasons, and a lot of us have been learning a whole lot. And so you guys can just take those letters, put those gently, stack them up and set them there. You guys can have a seat. Thank you very much for helping us illustrate that. I wanted to do this before we got to the teaching for a couple of reasons. One, we're about to worship. And when we worship, we may say we're not learning. I mean, I think we are learning in worship, but it's not meant to be a time of teaching, although worship teaches. Scripture even says that we are to teach one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. But songs, they don't teach you facts. They don't teach you learning. Songs teach you leaning. That makes sense. Just say, I got it. Worship teaches you how to lean. I don't mean lean because something's wrong with you, but it teaches you how to lean in. Like if somebody's telling a really good story, you lean in. If somebody wants to be close to somebody, you lean in. Or if you're tired or if you're weak, you lean in or you lean on something. So worship is a time of leaning. We're about to worship. And some of us are going to say, I don't need to learn right now. I need to lean. That sentence just came to me this morning as I'm walking in my neighborhood and praying. And I'm thinking, God, what are you trying to teach me? And I think God says, I need you to lean. So we have our team up here, and when Parker became a part of our team in September this past year, we knew when we hired Parker in September to come on board, we knew some things. One, we knew that he was going to be a great member of our team, and we knew that he was a person of integrity and humility, and we knew that he wanted to do the job. Parker and I actually met on a prayer walk, much like I was on this morning. I was walking one way, he's walking, and I'm praying, he's praying, and we're like, what are you praying about? And I told him, we're dealing with this. What are you praying about dealing with this? And I said, hey, maybe you could help us out. And we walked, and I remember that walk fondly. We walked around the block, and we talked about this opportunity. And we knew that when we hired him, he said, well, I'm getting married in May. We're like, that's awesome. And we also knew that his fiance was trying to take a test to get into optometry school. And we knew that that test was going to happen in October, that she would maybe get her results back in November, December, and then we'd find out in January or February if she got accepted into optometry school. And we thought, okay, should we wait until October to see how the test goes? Should we wait until December before we try to fill this position? But we wanted a member of our team, and we talked about it. And I talked to a lot of mentors in and out of North Boulevard, and we just kind of came to the conclusion, what have we got to lose? Even if we only get 8 or 9 months, then we're still going to have 8 or 9 months of an awesome team, and it's going to be a blessing to our students. Why deprive our students of 8 or 9 awesome months? But then we knew that if we have them for longer, then that's going to be great as well. Different seasons, same place, different seasons. And as it so happened, in November, she was given an opportunity to take this test again in February. And she took this test in February, and she passed the test, and then she began the process of applying to optometry schools. And, we rejoice with her and for her and praise God that she got accepted to optometry school in Birmingham in mid-March. So then we began to talk about, okay, what's going to happen? Because we know that for 4 years, they're going to be going to Birmingham for school. Now, some of you already knew parts of this story. Some of you know Kaylee. Some of you know siblings who know Kaylee, and you're like, yeah, we know, she passed the test, they're leaving. And so some of you, at least one person came to me about 4 or 5 weeks ago and said, so they're leaving and going to Birmingham, and why aren't you telling anybody? And I said, because we don't know all the details. Yeah, you do. She made it, and they're moving. And I said, well, we're trying very actively to put together a hybrid plan that will allow maybe some form of him to stay in ministry here and be a part of our team, and we're trying to figure those pieces out. They said, oh, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's why you don't know anything or haven't been told anything. We're trying to figure it out. Then we found out that 2 weeks ago, we found out that for her to get in-state tuition, Parker has to be employed full-time in the state where they are going to school, which is in Alabama and down in Birmingham. And so we thought, okay, well, maybe there's still a way. We continue to wait, but it wasn't until last Tuesday that we had a staff meeting and we realized that we had kind of run out of options as far as that goes. And we're like, okay, so what does this mean? Because we've all kind of grieved this process, knowing when we hired him that it was very likely. We knew it was very likely that it was going to be short-lived, but we thought if it's not, then it's great. We'll have it'll be great. But we also wanted Kaylee to achieve her dreams and to be able to follow the thing that she's always wanted and to celebrate their marriage. But we've had a really amazing time as a team, and I'll let them share about that in just a minute. It's been really great. And it was last Tuesday that we realized, okay, that's probably not going to work, and Parker and Kaylee are going to get married. They'll be with us throughout the summer and be with us at least through June, and then July 1st is when he's supposed to begin work in Birmingham. And they'll be there for 4 years, and then after she graduates, Lord willing, they may come back here, wherever the Lord takes them. Again, different seasons, same people. So we realized last Tuesday, okay, we did not announce that Wednesday because Courtney was at the Masters, and we felt it important that we wanted her to be a part. She's a part of our team. We wanted her to be with us. And so we said, we're going to wait. And so that's the only reason we waited. But we just found out less than 24 hours before that all doors of opportunity seem to have closed there. So you're really finding out as quickly as we could tell you what we've been up to for a long time. And so that's where we find ourselves. Now, the question is, what's going to happen next? We're trying to pursue with the leaders here, what do we do next? And it's going to be challenging to wait for 4 years for them to come back, and who knows, what they'll want to do in 4 years. I'll let Parker talk about his experience here, because from the night we filmed that video at the fall retreat with some of the seniors and stayed up very late, we had such fun doing that. And when I was spent and ready to go to bed, you guys were like, no, we're having fun. Like, let's keep doing this. Like, let's make it work. And it was awesome. And I knew that, we've got a great team. Our Tuesday morning meetings are one of the highlights of my week. and Vicky's as well. We love this team. Parker came through our group. Several years ago, Parker asked if I would kind of mentor and disciple him, and we met for several months on Fridays for lunch, and having no idea that God would bring us together. And I'll be honest with all of you. I was learning a lot, and now I'm leaning. Because I've said to myself, God, you gave us this team that's really great, and we've got it for 9 months. Like, something's not making sense here. I'm going to trust you. I've got no joy and I've got no peace. But God, I want you to fill me with joy and peace. But God says, you got to trust me. You don't get joy and peace unless you trust me. And so I've been leaning. It's okay to lean. Now, if all you do is lean, you never learn. You file that away somewhere. But I've been leaning. And then look at the rest of the verse. So that, because once you lean, and then you learn, and then you get filled with joy and peace, then you overflow with, what's the word? Hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. So everybody in this room is going to go through a different season where you'll grow up and you'll graduate and you'll leave. All these seniors, you're going to be leaving us, and we're going to be sad when you leave. And the juniors, you'll be seniors next year, and then you'll leave. And those that are parents in the back, trust me, as one who's watched it happen to 3 of my own, those seasons happen faster than you could ever imagine, and they leave. Not to lay that on you right now, but it's just life. It happens. And it's a God thing. And I thank God that we've had this team for even the short time that we've had. And I'll let you say something, and I'll let you say something.
Sure. The first thing I'd like to say is just thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your group and getting to come back to the nbyg. It's been probably the funnest 9 months of life you could possibly ask for. Obviously, I wish it would last much longer. Sometimes in life, things don't always go how you would exactly plan them to. And of course, I had a whole thing planned to say. I don't know if I'll make it through or say everything I wanted to say, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you, to all your parents and all the parents in the back that have just let me jump right in, and to the elders and all the people at church that have let me be here. Being in the group, growing up through the nbyg, you hear Skid say a lot of things, and it might get old. You're like, okay, Skid, I get it. You hang around. Okay, whatever, I get it. But getting to work with this team, I really just can't say enough about how hard that Skid and Courtney work to make this group awesome. And I just, don't take it for granted. Take every opportunity and every event that you get to come to and enjoy it. I can't say enough good things about Skid and Courtney. Just all the hard work they put in and to make this what it is. And I love you guys. Again, this is not how it's always planned to go. But I love all of you very much, and I thank you for letting me be here. So.
We'll say some more in a second. I'll let Courtney. I've asked all the members of the team to kind of share tonight. Courtney.
I am so emotional sometimes. So just go ahead and get that out there. But this is going to sound really silly, but there is a new Bluey episode, if anybody watches Bluey out there. And and it's a season where the girls are having to move from their town, and the whole message is like, we'll see. Like, something else is coming, we'll see. And it just made me think of, we really have had so much fun, just like you were talking, like the meetings and like planning retreats and all this stuff. It's so much easier. I haven't even been in this role very long, so it's been so much fun. But typically when something like this happens, God is shaping somebody. Like when something big happens, or a door is closed or a door is open, like for Kaylee and for Parker, I know something big is going to be at work. Like, God's going to be at work, and He's going to be at work here in us, and like what our new team is going to look like and everything. And we're going to see. Like, that's our hope, is that that God continues to shape him, and He continues to grow them, and then He continues to grow us here. But it's hard. It's still hard. But I just wanted to remind everybody of that too. We'll see. We have that hope. We're going to see what's going to happen, and we're going to miss Parker, of course, like a ton. He's my buddy. You're my buddy, too.
Thank you. We really have had a lot of fun and laughed a lot, and we're going to continue to do that through April and May and June, and they'll be coming back. Their families are still here, so we're going to see a lot of them. And he's going to join us, I'm sure, for retreats or pop in to visit at different things, be here for some True Norths, and we hope in 4 years that he's able to connect with the ministry, whether or not in an official role on the team, to be here and to be like a lot of the great adults in the back. In the meantime, we've already begun discussions with potential candidates to look at maybe being a part of this team, and we're going to see where God takes that and leads that. I don't know where that's going to go just yet. But that process has been going simultaneously with this until we kind of knew, okay, this is where it's going to go. So we wanted to share with all of you. Some of you I know have kind of thought, you figured this out because you're like, wait a minute, I hear Kaylee's going to school. Like, what's going to happen? We tried to find a way to where we could make both happen together. And it just became obvious to all of us that wasn't going to be the case. But we're not going to mourn. We're going to celebrate. We're going to lean. And we're going to learn. And those of you that have been influenced by Parker this year, whatever grade, he'll continue to be a part of your life, and we'll continue to provide people that will continue to shape you as well. I wanted to share all this before we worshiped. One, because I wanted our team to be here. Two, I wanted them to know how much I love them and how much they've enjoyed ministering, how much I've loved watching them love you. And, Parker has said a number of times, this is one of the most meaningful things I've ever done. And our hearts hurt for him. It's going to be tough for him to leave this job, but we do. We celebrate with their marriage. We celebrate that Kaylee's going to be getting to follow her, really a lifelong dream of going to optometry school to help other people to see. And so I've kind of felt like I've been in optometry school the past couple of weeks saying, God, I need you to help me to see as well. So we wanted to share that with you, and that's why we waited till tonight, because we really did not know until last Tuesday and wanted to wait in honor of out of respect for Courtney to be here together. So we're going to worship together. And Parker said, let's do this announcement before worship because I want us to be able to worship, and we want to be able to, some of us might need to lean in worship. Singers, if you guys will come up and take your place, we're going to sing some songs. We are going to teach tonight, and we're going to share the beginning of a story that we're going to finish next week. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about next Wednesday. We have some exciting things planned. And we know that these kind of transitions aren't fun. We know that they're sad. But we'll have more time to do all the other goodbyes. This isn't a goodbye. This is just an announcement about the season in which we find ourselves. So if you got that, say, I got it. And we're going to worship. And so we're going to ask you to stand up. We're going to sing some songs together. And then we're going to learn together. And it'll be fun as we go. Let's stand together. Love you guys.
Help me walk.
Well, for those who may be joining us online, maybe after the fact, and you've tuned in, you're going to probably want to go back a little bit and kind of watch some of the things that we've shared already so far here at True North tonight. We've done a lot before worship. So you're going to want to scroll back a little bit, and maybe we'll have a time stamp there for you in the comments where you can see that. But we've been leaning a little bit, and I've been real transparent. I've been doing a lot of leaning lately. But I want us to do a little bit of learning. So if you're ready to just for a minute to lock in, I'm going to gear up to a story that I really, really know is going to change every human in this room and those watching online, adults included. Want to make sure we get to it, so I'm going to move quickly. But if you're ready to lean and to learn, say, I'm ready. Going to back up just a little bit to where we were last week. We've been talking about this idea of being renewed. We're not really doing a series. We've been kind of doing standalone talks just from the things we've been reading in our reading. This is the drawing that was done. And Anna, did you do this? You did? Okay. We talked about it last week. And I love this drawing. This is what Daniel says, and I think it's still back there on the board. Maybe, I don't know if it's still there or not. Daniel says if you're not in the Word regularly, there's no way that you can be everything that God wants you to be. I saw that a couple of weeks ago, and I sent that to Daniel, and Daniel was like, wow, that's really awesome. And I said, it sinks in. This is a key truth. You need this one etched on the whiteboard of your soul. Great job. We said that some of you have a problem that you think needs a solution, but what you really have is a path that needs a different direction. Some of you, in fact, have problems and you're working on solutions. But some of us in the room have paths that need different directions because your direction will determine your destination. We've talked about all of these things with this word, oops. Remember, oops is something you say when you drop something, but it comes from a shortened version of oopsie daisy when you would lift a child, or upsie daisy, and it kind of got shortened to oops when you pick somebody up and you lift them up over a hurdle. Upsie daisy, and you try to get them up onto a horse or onto the steps or into the car or whatever. And somehow this word that meant lift something up got shortened to mean something that happens when something falls down. And so we showed you different versions of oops art, where somebody found something in nature or that's existing in real life, and they decided to build art around it, right? So last week you saw a whole lot of these from a guy named Philip Nunez, who takes these common objects and he works pictures all around them. We don't have time to really explore all of these. You can just look and see the creativity as he takes a random object like pencil shavings and it becomes everything that you see in this picture. Then we talked about the art of Andrew Scott. Remember, Andrew Scott talks about taking the frame in which you find yourself. And he says, my art is designed to show you how to kind of break out of the box, and the frame that you're in becomes a part of the story. And so we've shared a lot from Acts chapter 16. If you remember, this is where I'm going to put you to the test. We last left two main characters in a situation. Can I get somebody to raise a hand? I'll repeat for those watching online. Where were we and what was happening? Where were we and what was happening? Some of you got this written down, I think. Okay, I see Eli's hand back here. What do you got? Paul and Silas are in a jail cell. Now, this is a bonus question. Don't expect you to know it. Do you remember how they got put into the jail cell? Not just by jailers, obviously. But why were they in jail? They were preaching the word. They cast out a demon from a girl that was prophesying the future. The owner of the girl said, wait a minute, I've lost my money, my ability to make money, and I want these guys shut up. What you said was right. They were preaching God's word, and they get thrown into jail. And then we had this long story right there. There's the long story in Acts 16. You can go back and read it. Then it says that the crowd joined in the attack against them, and they find themselves fastened in the stocks in the inner cell. And then we said, about midnight, Paul and Silas were. And then we asked you for answers of what goes in that blank. And I asked for wrong answers only. And you said things like they were crying, or they were complaining, or they were cursing God, or they were planning their escape, or they were asking questions like, why, God, is this happening to us? Or they were saying, this isn't what we signed up for. You guys remember, you had a long list of all the things that were wrong answers, and you knew that they were wrong answers. Most of you did. But it's what most of us would do in the midnight hour. Now, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, the last couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks of ministry, the last couple of weeks of dealing with some friends, the last couple of weeks of dealing with some other organizations of which I'm a part, the last couple of weeks in dealing with some other students. There have been several situations in my life where I felt like I have been at the midnight hour, and I feel like I'm in the inner cell because I just feel, like I'm in the stocks, my hands and feet are tied, and I just can't move. I've been doing a lot of leaning. I think it's only fair to be transparent that when you get to be my age and you're the person standing up here talking, things aren't always going the way you want them to go. And your life's going to experience the same thing. I learn, and then I lean, and then after I lean, I learn. And at the midnight hour, these guys who were preaching, and because they were spreading the word, because they were doing what was right, they got thrown in prison. Somebody gave us the right answer. And I'm trying to remember who it was that gave us the right answer. I want to say it was Alex. Alex Land, are you in the room? Alex, what was the answer you gave us last week? What were they doing? They were singing and they were praying hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. And I think that's where we left off. I've got to go really quick, but I want us to get this idea of somebody finding themselves in the prison at the midnight hour, and they're doing something that nobody expects. And the other prisoners are listening. Now, some of you say, well, of course they were. They're prisoners. Like, what are they going to do? They had to listen. It doesn't say that they just heard them, that they were tolerating them. It says they were listening to them. Now, I only got time for one or two answers. If you're the other prisoners and you're listening, somebody tell me, what might you be thinking? Give me some answers. Yeah, Anna. Those guys are crazy, okay? Like, legitimately, maybe those guys are crazy. It's a good answer, yes. Why won't they shut up? Yes. Why are they doing that? Okay, I see Katie's hand way in the back. Katie, what are they doing? I wish what? Yeah, okay. Maybe they were saying, hey, I wish I could. Maybe they didn't want to join in right then, but they were like, I wish I could do that in a situation like this. Like, man, I'm jealous that they can do that. What is it about those guys? That's a great answer, Katie. The reason I called on her, because last time I called on her way back there, she gave another really great answer, and that was another good one. Thank you. So, if you're with me in the story so far, say, I got it. That's where they are. All right, now, just real quickly, go back to the story. Suddenly, there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and at once, the prison doors flew open, everyone's chains came loose, the jailer woke up, and when he saw the prison doors open, he drew his sword and was about to kill himself because he thought the prisoners had escaped. But Paul shouted, "Don't harm yourself. We're all here." It's a pretty crazy story. The jailer called for lights, and he rushed in, and he fell, trembling before Paul and Silas. He then brought them out, and he asked them, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" They replied, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you'll be saved, you and your household." Then they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all the others in his house. And at that hour of the night, the jailer took them, and he washed their wounds, and immediately he and all his household were baptized. The jailer brought them into his house and set a meal before them, and he was filled with joy. Remember that verse from Romans? He was filled with joy because he had come to believe in God, he and his whole household. Hours before, they're in a cell, the jailer is outside. Now, hours later, they're in his house, the jailer's still with them, no bars between them, and he's serving them dinner, and now the whole house is baptized. He says, I want whatever you guys got. Which is exactly what Katie just said. If you're with me still so far, say I'm with you. Now, guys, you can understand this as a 7th grader. Certainly as a 10th, 11th, 12th grader. But if you're young, you can understand this. Where you're like, man, my life is miserable, but their life is miserable too. But yet they're singing and praising. Now, they're not in prison. But they're going to True North, or they're going on a mission trip, or they're going to Winterfest, and they've got their Bible with them, and they're praying and having a Devo in their car. They're giving up time to go to Stones River Manor. They're giving toys to kids at Christmas. Like, what is it? What is it about you? Like, everything about your family, I think, is rotten, and yet you're still doing this. Everything about your relationships, you failed this, or you didn't do good at that, but yet you still can sing and praise. Like, I want whatever you got. I want to join in. Some of you, you need to know that the other prisoners, and by prisoners I just mean other people who are here on earth, like we're temporarily stuck here, and they're watching you and they're listening to you. Seniors, juniors, these young students in our group, they're watching you. They're watching the jokes that you tell, the songs that you listen to. They're watching you. I've learned that from my granddaughter. My granddaughter, we're sitting there the other day, she's in a swing, and I just say, hey, Mary May. I said, Mary May, can you do this? And she leans down and she pats it 3 times. And I say, oh. I said, can you, this is a totally true story. I said, can you say, ba, ba, ba? And she went, ba, ba, ba. And I was like, oh, this is so exciting. I said, can you go? And she looks at me and she claps and she smiles. And I'm like, oh. And so I thought, here's my chance. And I said, true story. I said, can you say, Papa Skid? And she went. I said, okay, all right. I was a little pushy. We'll try this again later. We'll circle back. But she's repeating everything I'm doing, and I thought, guys, those of you that are older, these younger students, they're watching you. That's why those of you that are going to camp, you've watched those older students for so many years, and you're like, oh, now I'm finally one of those people. And everybody wants to look at me. Everybody wants to do what you do. The other prisoners are listening to you. Now, I've shared this before here, probably at Winterfest or at Impact, so you may have seen this, but this is one of those analogies that I don't want you to get tired of. Now, some of you have an app similar to SHAZAM on your phone. I'm always amazed that there's people even now that say, I've never used SHAZAM, I don't know what it is. By now, most of you know what SHAZAM is, right? Raise your hand if you say, I know what SHAZAM is. If you don't know what, let's be honest, don't be ashamed. I mean, I don't know what half the things on my phone are. If you do not know what SHAZAM is, raise your hands. You say, I have no idea. So the way SHAZAM works, if I'm in a restaurant and I hear a song that I'm like, oh, I want to know who sings this song, or oh, I know this song, what's the name of it? As long as it's relatively quiet, I pull my phone out, open up SHAZAM, and I hit the button. I touch the logo there, and when I touch it, it tells me that it's listening to the song, and I hold it up to the speaker there at Starbucks, or there at Bojangles, or there at the Walmart, wherever I am. They're playing very different songs in all 3 places, by the way. And I hold that up. And then, sure enough, it'll pop back and it'll say, you're listening to the song Plea on this album, by this group Branch. This is an old screenshot of an old Christian song, an old album, but it's an old, and it'll pop up. And then it'll give me the choice. Do you want to download it? Do you want to look at the lyrics? Do you want to buy the song? I don't know what the interface looks like now, but it's similar to this, right? And it'll tell me what the song is. And I go, oh, yeah, this is that song. Or if I've never heard it, it'll tell me who sings it. Okay, if you got it, say got it. All right, and so I can listen to a song and somebody says, oh man, I've heard this. This song is in a movie. What is this song? And I reach out and I hit my SHAZAM, I hold it up, let it listen, and I go, oh, it's this song. And they go, oh yeah, that's right. Or if I hear an awesome song on the radio and I'm driving down and I'm listening to a worship song and I think, oh man, what is that song? This is what happened the first time I heard Gratitude. I guess it's Brandon Lake, is that right? Sings the song. And I know it's been out for a while. I just don't listen to a lot of radio. I'm listening to a lot of, podcasts and talks and nerdy stuff. And I don't listen to a whole lot of music. But I'm like, I want to hear that. I want to know what song that is. So I hit SHAZAM. I'm in the parking lot of some, store, and I hold my phone out, and it tells me it's Gratitude by Brandon Lake. Do you want to download it? Yes, I want to download it. Now, why do I show you that? Who can I pick on over here? Just need to pick on somebody over here. I pick on a lot of you a lot. Okay, I'll pick on David. David, stand over a second just so I can see David. Everybody say, hi, David. Hi. All right, very good. Now, David, have a seat. David plays football for Oakland. David's been coming as a guest for a long time. He's now a member of the NBYG, but he's been coming for a long time, a good friend of Jack Thompson's. And David's been a part of our D group, and David's just a great guy. And David's on the football team at Oakland. It's a public school. And there are guys that are looking at David and they're thinking, he doesn't talk the way the rest of us talks. He doesn't make fun of other people the way other people do. He honors his grandparents and he honors his mom. He talks about his mom like what is it? And there's somebody, they don't pull out their phone, but they say, I want to know what it is that he's got that I don't have. And it's like they pull their phone out and they hit SHAZAM and they say, I want to know what it is, because just like Katie said, I want to download whatever song he's living his life by, because I want to know those lyrics. If you're with me, say I'm with you. Hey guys, I guarantee you this week somebody has probably looked at your life and said, I want to know what it is now, good or bad. They're like, I want to know what it is that drives them. So one time I'm listening to SHAZAM and I look at it, and this is actually a screenshot from my phone. and it said, we didn't quite catch that. Please get closer to the sound and try again. And I saved that. It's on in my phone. It's on one of my favorites. One of my favorite pictures. If people are like, that's one of your favorites? Yes, because when I'm sitting across from a teenager whose life is falling apart, whose relationship is falling apart, when I'm sitting across from a friend whose marriage is falling apart, when I'm sitting across from a teen who's got an addiction that is out of control, and I just say, you ever heard of SHAZAM? They're like, I said, find somebody whose life you like in this department, whether it's their sexual purity, or whether it's the way they do marriage, or whether it's the way they do whatever. Find somebody you like and download it. And I say, and then sometimes you're like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What do? And I say, you get closer to the source of the sound and you try it again. Like you just do that. And they're like, well, that just sounds simple. It's that simple. It is that simple. So I want to show you one last video, and then I'm going to call a friend of mine up here to wrap up here. I saw a pretty awesome video, and I sent it to Mike. Mike and I are sending, memes and GIFs and videos together all the time, saying, hey, pull this for Send It. Pull this for this video. And Mike's like, oh, you got to see this. This is hilarious. Watch this. And I found one that I thought, here's the video. It says that there are some objects that when heated, it's a concept called shape permanence. And when it's heated and it's bent out of shape, like a spring or a paper clip, when it is heated intensely, look what it does. What is it doing? Somebody explain what it's doing. It's returning to its original design. A spring that has been completely pulled out of shape. A paper clip that's been I couldn't believe it. And it just naturally comes right back together when it is heated. When applied intense heat, it returns to its original shape. And I said, okay, that's not going to be for a segment. Like, that's for the learning. Like, this is not just for the laughing. This is for the learning. Peter says, in this way, you greatly rejoice, because now, for a little while, you may have had to suffer grief and all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you've not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him, and you're filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. Write that verse down. Just write it down, 1 Peter 1, 6 and following. Write it down, go home and read it, underline it. Look up this idea of I think it's called shape permanence. I can't remember what the actual term is. You can find the video probably if you look it up. And show that to somebody who's bent all out of shape. And say, you know what, you're bent out of shape. They're like, yeah, because things in my life are so hot right now. The heat is, somebody's turning up the heat. You're like, you know what happens when you get the heat applied to you? What? You return to your original design. So, Daniel Jones, come up here for a second, Daniel. You may look at this guy and think that that's Daniel Jones, the guy that we love, the teacher at the Christian school that some of you have, the chaperone on our trips, those of you that go to Senior Devo, those that have been to Winterfest, those that have been to the guys' retreat or at camp, and you see Daniel in the kitchen. Many of you know Daniel, and this is not Daniel. This is Daniel's brother, David. They look a lot alike. And this is Daniel's dad, the one that looks like Indiana Jones. That's Daniel's dad.
I'm the better looking one.
Yeah, let me turn that on there. Let's do this. We're on HH2. Come right over here, Daniel. Let's stand over here close to the table.
Excellent.
So, guys, I want to begin a story that I want to tell you is a story that we've only told publicly a few times, only once here. But the last time we shared this story here, the filling station, for the one of only 2 times, had over 500 people in it. In August of 2010, we shared this story. It's the story of his brother, David. David in this picture is a teenager. When I moved to my first job in Knoxville, David was a senior. David helped me move into my office. I had a bunch of crazy stuff in my office then. My collection has grown, of course, over 20-something years, but I had a lot of it then, and David helped me move it all in. Other students had school. David got out of school early, and he came over the entire week and helped me move in, set everything up, and we got to talk a whole lot. He was the first teen that I met and the only teen I got to know really well that first week. We went to eat together. We talked about a lot of things. David was a leader in our group. David was, I don't have a picture, but David was Bible man for our children's Bible hour we did on Sunday nights. It was a program led by the children's ministry, and David wore not a superhero outfit, but a cape and a tuxedo and a funny-looking fedora or hat, and he was Bible man, and he would come in and share the lesson, and the kids all loved David. David went to Mexico with us on one of our mission trips. David would be there every Sunday and was there every Wednesday. I bonded with David because he was the one that showed up and, like I said, helped me move in. So David graduates, and when David graduates, like all students, he kind of wanted to live on his own. And he said, I don't want to live at home. I want to get away from my house. So he couldn't really afford to just go and buy a house, so he thought, I'll find a place in town where I can get an apartment. He found a place in town that probably wasn't the best place in town for him to live. And then David began to bring some friends to church, people that kind of concerned me and concerned us, and he would show up at our teen devos because all of his friends had graduated. He didn't want to be that guy that hung out at the church all the time after he graduated, but he would show back up, especially when we had meals, because I realized David was hungry and was interested in whatever meal we were eating. We'd always package up our lasagna or hamburgers or hot dogs, whatever we had, and we would say, hey, you want to take the rest? And he'd say, oh, yeah, sure, and he'd take the rest of the food with him. And I went to Burger King, took David to Burger King, and I sat with him one time. I said, David, I'm a little concerned about some of your friends. It had nothing to do with what they looked like, had nothing to do with the color of their skin or how tall they were or where they were from. I just said, David, I'm concerned about some of your friends because, you are who you hang around. I said it even back then. We sat at Burger King, and he looked, and he just said, what right do you have to say any of this to me? And he got pretty mad at me. He said some choice words. And he stood up, and everybody in the restaurant looked as he said some things to me, and he walked out. And, I was a little embarrassed. I was angry. I was sad because I'd just been, cussed out and blessed out right there in front of all these people, and he left. And David and I didn't talk for a long time. And I just thought, man, I don't know where this story is going. Until one day I came back from a vacation, and right as I walked in the door, my friend Jeff called. I answered the phone. We were literally carrying bags in from a family trip, and Jeff said, hey, how are you? And I said, I'm good. I'm just getting back from vacation. He said, you need to turn on your television. I said, I don't need to turn on my television. I just got home. Can we talk tomorrow? He said, stop what you're doing and turn on your TV. Daniel also got a call. So Daniel, tell me about the call that you got.
Yeah, so at the time that Dave was talking about, I was actually at Harding University, and I was there, and I was there at Harding, and I got a call, and the call I got was I'd served as a youth intern for David, and one of the summers was me and Kara Adcox, and Kara called me up and said, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. And she goes, I think you need to call your parents. And so I said, okay. Then I got another call. This call came from a professor, and I'd spent half a semester study abroad in Australia, and that's one of the professors that went with me. And so he called me to his office, and so I walked to his office, and he sat me down in his office, and he said, there's someone on the phone that needs to talk to you. And so I picked up the phone, and it was my grandfather. Now, the one thing about my grandfather is the fact that my grandfather lives in Nashville, and my parents live in Knoxville. And my grandfather doesn't usually go to Knoxville to visit with his son, my dad. And so to hear him in Knoxville, I knew something was up. And on the phone, I could hear people in the background. And there was a lot of tears and sadness. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting a call from Jeff, and I turn on the television, and first thing I see is David's face at that exact moment on my television. And I'm like, I'm on the phone. I said, is that David Jones? And he said, yes. He said, don't talk to me, just listen. And I heard the news story, and this is what I heard.
So my grandfather's talking to me, and he basically says, listen, something's happening with your brother. And I said, what's going on? What's happening? And he said, your brother has been arrested. And I said, my brother's arrested? David just described to you what my brother was like. I said, my brother is arrested. And I didn't really know what else to say. And my grandfather told me, he said, it's serious. Someone was killed. A young man was killed. And I was just basically in shock. I didn't know what to do. I remember my grandfather saying more things, trying to comfort me. My parents at that time could not talk to me. And I understand that. I get that, okay? I didn't expect them to talk to me, but I didn't know what to do. And, but my brother was charged with 2 accounts of aggravated robbery, and then also charged with association to first-degree murder.
David, the story would say, was in a car full of individuals that stopped at a gas station where there was a phone booth, which were common back then. He stopped at a phone booth, and one of the individuals in the car, David did not know the guys in the car. David wanted money to eat on, and he needed money to live, and so he had some friends that said, if you drive my friends around, they'll pay you to kind of be their Uber driver before Uber was even a thing. So David was driving them around. They had pulled a gun on somebody at another stop and robbed them and got some money, and David was scared for his life, and he thought, I don't know what to do. I should just give them my car and let them go. But he said, I thought they were going to hurt me, so I just continued to drive around and thought, they're just trying to scare people. They stopped at a phone booth, and there was a 21-year-old student on the phone. The individual in the car that David was driving got out, pulled the gun, and said, give me your wallet. And the guy was nervous and couldn't get his wallet out fast enough. And so the individual that was there with the gun, that had been the passenger in David's car, shot this young man, 21 years old. He dies instantly there. They get his wallet, and inside his wallet is a $1 bill. And they get a Walmart digital watch off of him that was worth about $7. Only 2 things they took away. They got in the car and they left. Turns out that the security cameras at the gas station saw the car leaving and recognized that the car was registered to David. They find David, and David admits this is what happened. I don't know these guys that I was with, but he tells them, and they arrest the guys. The guys, of course, they threatened to kill David for turning them in, and David is now in jail. These guys have rap sheets that are pages long, and David had hardly any offense, no offense on his record at all. He just happened to drive these guys around and was at the terribly wrong place at the terribly wrong time and made a decision to stay in the car after that first robbery attempt, but he was afraid. David, I go see David, and I went and saw him in the local jail before they moved him. Last time I'd seen him, I'd been cussed out at Burger King. And I walk up, they call my name, and I walk in, and I see him walk up, shackled hands and feet, and the shackles tied together from his hands and his feet in a jumpsuit, and he sits down at the table from me in a very, very dark and dirty jail. It was a really, really unwelcoming place. And I put my hand up to the window, and he put his hand on mine, and we both began to cry, and I said, I love you, and he said, I know. And we just sat there. Well, time doesn't allow us to get much more into the story, but what I will tell you is that the other individuals, they received the death penalty originally, and David received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Eventually, that was reduced. The individuals in the car got a life sentence without the possibility of parole, and David is told, you're going to serve 33 years, was my understanding.
I think it was 40 years at 30%.
Yeah. Okay. 40 years at 30%. He's going to spend 40 years. David came up for parole many times over the course of the next several years and was always denied. It was a big story in the news every time they came up for parole. Hearing my friend's name on local radio, horrible things said about him. And it was a tragic story. David wrote me letters. I still have every one of the letters. David began to call me. I got collect calls, and we called about once a week. David began to take a New Testament course, began to preach to people and to have Bible studies with people in jail. And a guy who had never committed another offense, to my knowledge, I don't know, had another crime, maybe no DUI, no nothing, had nothing. made one choice, and he spent 13 years of his life in prison. 13 years in the inner cell, just like Paul and Silas. But he chose to pray and sing hymns to God because when heat was applied, he returned to his original shape. And the David that I saw was the David that I remember that was our Bible man. David is no different than any single person in this room. In fact, David was probably a notch ahead, to be honest, of the leadership of some of the young men or women in this room. And you talk about a season of leaning and learning. Probably one of the most influential days of my life was when I was asked to go and speak at a parole hearing that David's lawyer said, if we get the right amount of people and the right amount of things happen, it's been 13 years, there is a chance that these people will listen. You need to find the people that love David the most, and they got a chance to pick a certain number of people, and they said, would you come and speak on our son's behalf? And there were several of us that did. And we're going to tell the story of that day, and next week on Wednesday night here at True North, Daniel's brother David is going to join us here live. He's going to be here in the room with us. He's been out of jail now since the year 2010, and his story has taken a remarkably positive turn. It is a story unlike any you're going to hear. I told Parker, he said, I've never heard Daniel's brother's story. And I said, it's probably one of the more remarkable stories I've ever heard. And next week, you're going to get to hear it. And we hope that you will, you're like, wait a minute, I got to come Thursday night, now I got to come next Wednesday. And, well, yeah. And it's going to be an incredible story. You're going to want to have people to come here. We'll recap parts of this, but we're going to leave longer next week. Less time for, fun, less time for some of the worship. We're going to worship for sure, but we're going to have the rest of that story so that you can hear an amazing story of what it means to be renewed. This is one of the only pictures that I had of David. He wasn't allowed to take many pictures, but he sent me this picture, and it's a picture that I used to pray for him often. And he would call and we would talk. And next week, you're going to get a chance to hear his story. And I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, Daniel was my very first intern in 1996 and in 1997. And Daniel's family's been very close to me. At Winterfest, his parents run the registration booth. Some of you've met them, having no idea you met Daniel's parents. And David is one of my dearest friends. And to go from being cussed out in a Burger King to embracing on the day that he was released was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And you're going to want to hear it because you're like, I'm not a criminal. I'm not going to be in jail. One decision on one night cost him 13 years of his life. We're going to say a prayer for David right now. We're going to say a prayer for Sean McDowell, who will be traveling here. And guys, I can't wait to see you. After we're done tonight, those of you that can stay, we're going to take some tables down. We want you to please clean up your cups, all the cups, everything. Let's throw it all away. We're going to have a room full of guests tomorrow. So let's be welcoming. Let's be ready to welcome them. And if you're able to help us set out a few more chairs, it won't take long. We'll do that. And we'll see you tomorrow night. At what time? The event starts at 6. We want you here about 5:30, okay? Let's pray. God, thank you so much for tonight. I thank you for Daniel. Thank you for David. And I thank you for the fact that David has willingly expressed a desire to come and once again share his story that he might change somebody's path that needs a new direction. God, I'm so humbled that he's coming back. And God, I'm thankful for our team. I'm thankful for Parker, for Courtney. We're thankful for Parker and Kaylee and their upcoming wedding. And God, we just ask that you bless that wedding, bless that marriage, bless that home. And we certainly ask that you bless their future. God, a lot of us are struggling to understand how this has played out, and yet we celebrate with them. And God, we just lean and trust in you that you're going to provide, and we've learned a lot. So God, thank you for tonight, for our worship, and bring us back tomorrow. Be with Sean as he travels. And God, it's through the name of Jesus we pray, and we all say together. Amen. Amen. Y'all have a great night. Love you guys. Take care.